Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros, to another afternoon Realty Talk. We appreciate everyone joining us this afternoon for this afternoon's training. This is going to be a very, very, very interactive training that is crucial to your real estate business. And I know sometimes maybe we may be a bit apprehensive about participation, but I really do want everyone to participate in today's training because it is just helpful for us all. I believe, I'm not sure, but at any rate, Mrs. Porter has been speaking about $1 million listings and doing scripts and role play for us to be able to have conversation with those individuals that are selling those listings among others. And so just like we go and we secure listings that may be what is considered an everyday listing, just trying to give us some guidance as it pertains to the what the approach is for a million or multi-million dollar listing. And so what I wanted to do is what I was going to just start out with is I'm going to share my screen and let's see. Because what I want to do is hopefully this is okay. Can everyone see my screen? Hello, Darren. Glad you could join us this afternoon. So what I was going to start out with before we go actually into the scripts themselves, what I wanted to start out with is I wanted to start out with best practices, just kind of, some of the upfront information that we should have and preparations that we should make when we are going to begin calling and, trying to secure listings. And so it doesn't matter whether this is, a multi-million dollar listing or, as I said before, your everyday listing. There's just some best practices that we need to make sure that we keep in mind. And so the first thing obviously is to know the legal restrictions on calling prospects. We need to be aware of that and that the hours that we are allowed legally to prospect it are between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. And then what we do when we are able to contact someone, when they answer the phone, we immediately tell whomever answers the phone who you are and the name of your company. You are immediately identify yourself as well as the company that you work for. You aren't able to call from a restricted or a blocked number either. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we keep those things in mind and as far as our legal obligations are. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to know when and when not to call. So we know that the window is between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m., but there are some times that have shown to be a more fruitful and productive time to call. And so it says studies show the best days to call are Wednesday and Thursdays, and calls between 4 and 6 o'clock are 164% more successful than calls made earlier in the day. Be mindful of calling later than that as families eat dinner and others who might be early to bed or who might, be early to bed. That's what it says. The worst time to call is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So as a rule, that's what statistics have shown as being the best time to be able to actually have a conversation with someone, and maybe they'll be willing to engage with you. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Also, you want to do your due diligence, right? You're calling people in the hopes of connecting or reconnecting with them and creating a business opportunity. Take the time to familiarize yourself with the property, neighborhood, and people you're calling. By conducting some discovery before you pick up the phone, you are personalizing the calls and identifying ways to relate to the person on the other end of the call. So, and we have the ability to be able to go into whether a property is expired, or maybe if it's not even expired, maybe it's a for sale by owner, or maybe previously was a for sale by owner, or maybe it was a canceled uh, property that did not sell. We're able to go into Bright MLS, into the public record, and get at least the basic information as it pertains to the property. So we just kind of want to take a look at, I think if I were looking in the public record, obviously I'm going to look at the, who the owner of record is. So because I want to make sure that I'm speaking to the correct person, or the person, at least one of the persons that has the ability to be able to speak with me, and maybe that we're able to move forward together. And then also something else I look at, especially if there is an expired and or canceled listing, I look at the previous listing to see how much information and details I can get from that. I look at the pictures, although of course you want to go, the goal is to get into the property yourself. And then I also look at the details as it pertains to, the square footage, bedrooms, baths, and any other details that I'm able to pull out from the tax records. You might want to look at when that person purchased the property, as well as maybe what the purchase price was. That may give you some indication as to, whether or not there is equity that is built up in the home. So you want to make sure you do that. Okay, so do your due diligence, make sure you have some information as it pertains to the property. And then the next step is, so you're mindful of our the laws that pertain to us as in regards to prospecting. You have some information regarding the property that you're going to be able to have a conversation with the seller. And then the next thing is scripts. Scripts work only if you work them, okay? The key to sounding natural is practice. So this is wonderful, you guys. The key to sounding natural is practice. And we're going to have the opportunity to be able to practice. So this is really great. You can practice role play with another agent. That's what we're going to be doing this afternoon. Your spouse, your kids, call your voicemail, read the scripts, play it back, and repeat until you feel confident in your delivery and it sounds natural. And don't be afraid to change the scripts to fine tune it to your personality. So you want to know the scripts, but then you're able then to put your own special little flair in there. Your personality, you are able to add to the scripts, okay? Resist the urge to sell. The best way to hook someone over the phone is to be relatable, transparent, and develop a real connection. Listen to what the other person is saying. Take notes. That's, I think, for me, very important. And incorporate their own words back into the conversation. This will tailor the conversation specifically to their pain points and allow what you say to be better, to better resonate with their concerns. Okay. So now we're getting into our scripts. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we are going to, I know we have several people on the line, and this is really about us practicing. So because you won't get better unless you practice. So I say all that to say, I'm looking for some brave soul. Or actually I'm looking, well, for two brave souls. My apologies, you guys. My AirPod always goes out when oh, I apologize. How unprofessional of you. That's technology.
Take your time.
I apologize so much. All right, because I can't hear you guys without my AirPod, but anyway. All right. So I'm looking for our first script is on an expired. So remember I said that you may be calling someone with a property that was recently, or maybe not even recently, but was on the market, and for whatever reason that listing expired and it's no longer on the market. The seller did not get what they wanted. What we know about this person, the expired, the for sale by owner, the canceled, what we know about them is those people are interested in selling their property. Okay. And so those are great opportunities for us to be able to come in and provide them with what it is that they are looking for. Okay. So do we have two brave souls that will volunteer to do our first script? And we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for someone who is willing to just read. You don't even have to make up any words of your own. You just read the script. Okay. So do I want to pick two people? Let's see. All right. So how about if you are able, and I understand that there are a lot of you that are at work and perhaps unable to participate fully, and we understand that that's no problem at all. But I know there are some of us that are able to. Yeah, Darren, I appreciate so much you being willing to participate and to start off this training. So I'm going to have um, I'm sorry, Darian, I apologize, to read the first one for us, please, if you don't mind. Well, I apologize, Darian. Before you do that, so Aurelia, would you mind being the seller? Okay, so I'm just responding. Correct. You're just responding to what he's reading. So you'll have to unmute yourself, Aurelia. And it's on the script as well. Oh, the right one? Yep. Mm-hmm. I can't see. You can't see it. Okay, so I'll go ahead. The first one, I'll go ahead and I'll be the seller, Darian. You go ahead and you be the agent. Thank you again, Darian.
No, ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Action. Hey, Anita. This is Darian Butler with Porterhouse International Realty Group calling. How are you?
Are you another real estate agent calling about my listing?
Yes, I figured you were getting calls because we were all thinking the same thing. You are. How could a listing possibly expire in this good of a market? Obviously, something went wrong, and I want to see if you were open to having a quick conversation about that.
Yes, but at this point, I'm totally frustrated with the process. I don't know what I am going to do right now.
I figured as much. I can hear it in your voice. But obviously, you listed your home because you wanted to sell it. And the reason it expired wasn't because of you. The reason I'm calling is that at some point you are going to list again. And when you do, you will interview agents. I'm hoping to be one of those agents. Will you be willing to give me 20 minutes with that time, 20 minutes when that time comes?
Very good, Darian. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So how did that feel, Darian, just reading through that just this first time?
Um, like I read it.
Yeah. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Is like you read it, and I appreciate that honest answer. Is it something that you feel like just kind of reviewing, going through it a few times and kind of putting your own personality to it, that you could get a level of comfort in say going through that script?
Oh yeah, indeed.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So yes. Oh, thank you, Darian. Again, we appreciate you being our first brave soldier. Um, Mrs. Porter, you said you wanted to say something? Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Can everybody hear me?
Hey,
Hello.
hey,
I
hey,
am
hey.
so excited with what Anita is sharing today. As I was listening, I am just on fire to jump right in. So forgive me because I want you guys to go through these role plays, but I just had to jump in and comment for a moment. What Anita has us doing today, I hope you guys realize how powerful it is because we're coming into a market in 2025 that we believe is going to be on fire. And as you know, we've declared that we're going after the multi-million-dollar listings. That won't just be something for only some of us, but our goal is to have that to be the goal for each and every last Realty Pro. Like you heard Anita say, there's some listings that are everyday listings, but others you look and say, well, can I get that listing? If so, how will I get it? Or what do I do? The goal in us going through this training this afternoon, as well as in our kind of boot camp, if you will, after Realty Talks, is so that it kind of breaks down the whole taboo about what it looks like to have a multi-million-dollar listing. What does that conversation sound like, right? What is that seller profile type? What are they looking for? How do I get it? What do I say? What do I wear? What do I do? Well, that's the very reason why we're going through all of this training. So I am just ecstatic to hear you guys jump right in. Kudos to you, Darian. Kudos to everybody else who will go through these scripts. Because just as Anita and I talked about yesterday, we know how it is when people have to go through cold calling. Sometimes it can be a trepidatious matter, and people say, oh, Lord, I don't want to call that person. They may not expect my call, or how are they going to respond on the other end of the call? But no matter what the case is, we are calling because you are going after the business. We are the foot soldiers on the ground. And when that spring market's hit, when it hits, somebody's yard sign is going to be out there in front of those properties for sellers who want to sell. And the person whose yard sign is going to be out there is the person who made the call, right? We know that there are many different ways for us to prospect for listings, and this is one that is tested and tried and true. We know that it's a numbers game, but at the end of the day, we absolutely have to get in that game. You got to get to the point where you're reading these scripts just like Darian did. That first time, it feels like it was very red, but it wasn't a difficult script at all. So it'll only take you reading through it a couple times, maybe record yourself on your voice notes on your phone. And then by the time you know it, within the next maybe 20, 30 minutes or so, you'll sound like a professional because you have your own tone, you have your own personality, your own voice, and that will shine through on those calls, which is why in our time doing Realty Talks and when we come together as a brokerage, this is what we're going to do so that you guys are prepared. So I'm just really excited. I couldn't, resist. I wanted to jump in there and say something. Yes, we will continue to go through the rest of the scripts. After Realty Talks, we're going to be meeting in the office. So from 1:30, we're going to be preparing for the cold calling session, right? We're going to talk about that seller type. How do you approach somebody that has a multi-million-dollar property to sell? What things are important to them? What things are the selling points that you bring to the table? What does that look like? So those are the things that we're going to cover. And then we're actually going to open up Bright and the other resources that we have to identify the people that we're actually going to call. So we're doing scripts, we're doing seller profile, and then we're going actually to research and find these people And then the very last part of that is going to be making the call. So we want for each and every last Realty Pro to avail yourself for everything that we're doing today, because the goal of this is so that you start your 2025 running. We want you guys to be so well ahead of the game because you didn't wait until the spring, but you started now, right? So that is a very big thing. Kudos to you guys for carving out time to make sure that you were on Realty Talks today. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to you guys jumping in and going through some more of these scripts, because this is where you learn exactly what it is that you need to do. This is where you perfect your craft. This is where if something feels mechanical, you can, adjust it so that it fits your personality type. But this is your safe space. All right. So I'm going to hand it back over and we can continue to go through some scripts, but I want to encourage you guys, jump out there, dive into these scripts. All right. Hit each one of those talking points, read it verbatim the first time until you master it. Then you can put your own spin on it. But the safety in the scripts is that it addresses everything you need to address in order to get that appointment. All right, guys. So hats off to you. I'm going to turn it back over to Anita so that you guys can jump right in and continue role playing with these scripts. And I yield it back over to you, Anita.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Porter. I appreciate that. And again, thank you, Darren, for being our first volunteer. We do appreciate that. Oops. And so our next one is just sold or pending sale. And so do we have a volunteer on Zoom that will be our listing agent? Oh, I see Gina is here with us. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Or is there someone that I can volunteer to join us to be our next agent? Well, you're all agents. Okay, so how about let's see. You can read it now, Aurelia. Okay, okay. All right, Aurelia. So Aurelia is going to be our next agent up. And then, and so this is the thing too, right? I know this can feel a bit intimidating, but we're all learning this together. So no one has perfected this yet, right? So don't feel uncomfortable because you don't know it, because we're all in the process of learning it right in this moment, okay? And so I really do want to encourage everyone to just go ahead and jump right in. So Aurelia, you can go ahead and you can do our next one, and then I'll be the seller.
Okay. Hello, Mrs. Proctor. This is Aurelia with Porterhouse International Realty Group calling, and I'm proud to say that we just sold your neighbor's home at the listing address at 2416 Prospect Place, and we sold that property for $475,000. Do you know did you know that it was on the market?
Oh, no, I didn't. There's a lot of movement right now. Oh, that's your turn, Aurelia. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought so.
there's a lot of movement right now in the market. And when our neighbors sell their home, it's pretty common for 2 to 3 homes in the same neighborhood to sell right away. Curious, curious. I'm curious. Have you given any thought to selling your home?
No, I have no plans to sell.
I understand. How long have you been living there?
Well, I've been here for 10 years now.
Can I ask how did you pick this neighborhood?
Well, at the time, I had younger children, and so my concern was the school district and the commute.
Okay, that's good to hear that you chose it by the school district. Many sellers many buyers choose their properties by the district because it's very important for their kids to be in a place where they're safe and their children are, their education is very important. That makes sense. And I've thought about women, and I thought about relocating for the specific school community alone. Tell me, how long do you see your family staying here?
Okay. And so at this point, there are options for you to be able to continue to move forward. Okay. So I'm going to say that I've been here, as I said, for 10 years.
Okay, so great. Ownership is a long-term investment. If you see yourself wondering what your home is worth in the current market, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I offer free home evaluations and resources, whether you're ready to sell or just curious. Do you know anyone that is looking to buy or sell or that could use my help?
Well, no, I don't know anyone right now, but I'll take your information. And if I'm interested, I'll reach back out to you.
Great. If you could send me your email address, I will send you my information along with some important information that may interest you. Thank you.
Okay, well, here it is, here, blah, 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 blah. So I think, yeah, I like this script also. I think that perhaps, and Mrs. Porter, definitely you can chime in on this part as well. Could we have taken this even a little bit further and maybe got some, more engagement at that point?
I definitely say so. So the goal of the script where it asks questions is to pause and get them to answer. And like,
Okay.
So to Anita's point, what Anita shared in the very beginning was, let me mute you, that way they don't have any feedback. Can you guys hear me okay? So hats off to you ladies, because you did a great job with that script. One of the things that Anita talked about with regards to best practices earlier was us listening to them and us crafting our response based on what the person on the call said. So what that seller is saying. So some good conversation points when she said, she chose the property because of the school or because of the commute. That's a great place to come back and revisit. You know what I mean? Is that still a need for you with regards to the school? How's the commute for you with work, right? You're going to go back to the talking points that are there so that you make sure that you hit them. But I definitely want to make sure that we incorporate what we hear them saying into our response so that they know that we're listening to them specifically and tailoring our response to the things that are most needful and most important for them. So great job with that.
Thank you, Mrs. Porter. We appreciate that. Okay. All right. So on to the next one, for sale by owner. And we have some experience with the for sale by owner. So is there anyone who is on the line that is able to come off mute and be the agent for this? Cheryl? Oh, no. I apologize. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. Is there anyone else who can come off mute and share uh, as the agent? Or let's see, let me ask someone then. I'm not sure. Shayla, are you able to unmute yourself? Or who else is on the line? Darren. Darian. Oh, Darian. I think we need to change your name. I think I'm gonna change. I'm good at changing people's names, so I think we're gonna change your name, Darian. But thank you again, Darian. Yes, you can go ahead, and if you can unmute yourself, then you can be the listing agent, and I'll be the seller.
All right, no problem. We ready? Hi there. This is Darian Butler with Porterhouse International Realty Group, and I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the homeowner?
Is this another agent calling trying to sell my house?
Didn't we do this one?
No, this is a little bit different.
Oh, all right, gotcha.
Or this is a for sale by owner property. So this is the
Okay.
owner who feels as if though they have enough knowledge to sell their house,
Gotcha.
and they don't need an agent.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry about that. Let's
No
take it
problem.
from the top.
Okay.
Hi there. This is Darian Butler with Porterhouse International Realty Group, and I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Is this another agent calling to try to sell my house?
I am. Oh, I'm sorry. I had your name. I am Anita. I'm calling because I'm wondering the same thing every other agent in the area is thinking. Why?
Well, we feel good about selling ourselves without having to pay a commission.
Tell me this, Anita. What is more important to you in selling your home? Selling it on your own or selling it at the highest price and making the most money?
Well, making the most money is my objective. That's the reason why I don't want to pay a commission.
How can you guarantee that?
Well, I can't, but I feel like I know a little bit about this community, and I've been in this home for a while, and I've seen other houses that have sold and how much I know what my house is worth, and I want what I want. And so I think that I can sell it myself and then save myself that commission. And I don't have to pay all that commission and paying people to buy my house and everything.
Wait, what are you reading?
Oh, you said, oh,
Oh,
I was
I asked the
ad
wrong
libbing.
thing.
Yeah, I was ad libbing. Yes.
Oh.
Oh, okay. It, right. Okay. Sounds to me. Yeah. You go. I apologize. You go ahead to the sounds to me like
Sounds to
right up
me
under.
like making a. Wait, hold on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got yeah. Sounds to me. Oh, I missed something. That's what it was. Yeah, sounds to me like making the most money. If we could help you and help you. What if we could help you and help you sell your home faster with less hassle and risk and net more money? Would you consider interviewing us?
How can you guarantee that?
Great question. When we get together, I will show you. Does tomorrow or Friday work better for you?
Um. Okay. Friday is good. I'm available on Friday.
Do I keep going or is it any more?
Well, no, no. So that's actually where you could start. But when you are completing that, then obviously that you're going to have
Information and
a
stuff.
right a time. You're going to confirm a time and make sure that both if there's another decision-making person that's available, make sure that they're going to be there at that time as well.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
That was such a good script, guys. There's so much meat in there, and I want to make sure that everybody's paying attention to it because those talking points are very realistic. I think that one of the most important questions that was asked in the whole thing was it most important that the sellers sell their property on their own or that they make the most money, right? And then to follow up with, it sounds to me like it's making the most money. What if I could help you to sell your home? Excuse me, I have some notes popping up on my screen. To sell your home faster with less hassle and risk and net more money, would you consider interviewing us? And I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? If you had somebody that can tell you they'd be able to help you to sell your home faster with less hassle and risk and net more money, would you consider interviewing them? I see heads nodding. I hear people saying, uh-huh. So the biggest point of that is to get to that language so that you can have kind of the carrot before the horse in the sense that you give the seller a reason to want to hear you out, to want to have an appointment with you, to want to schedule that listing presentation so that you can actually go and sell yourself there. So that's a very good thing. Another part of that script that's very important too is when you get somebody on the hook, you want to schedule that appointment as soon as possible. So within 24 to 48 hours of that person agreeing to have a conversation with you, get that appointment scheduled. So at the bottom where you see, you know, does tomorrow or the next day work better for you? You want to absolutely have that appointment as quickly as possible and not allow them to put it off until the week after next or next week or whatever the case is, because you want to get them while there's momentum. When they're interested, when you've made that connection in that conversation, that's when you absolutely want to go ahead and land that deal by closing for the appointment, okay? We know that in times you're closing for the deal, you're closing to get even an offer accepted, but the most important thing that you can do up front is close for the appointment. That appointment where you'll go in and be able to sell yourself is the most important thing that you are aiming for on this call. All right. Remember, that's your takeaway. That's what you're looking to do, to schedule an appointment within 24 to 48 hours. So outstanding. I want to hear from you guys as we're listening to our brave Realty pros to go through these scripts. I want you to pull out some of the things that you've heard so far in these scripts and just respond to them with regards to how you feel about delivering that information, how effective you felt it was, and maybe some of the talking points that you thought would resonate most with the seller. So I want to hear from you guys. And happy holidays to you too, Gina. I see your background there. It's just moving back and forward.
Thank you.
So unmute yourselves. I want to hear your thoughts on these scripts. What are you thinking?
Well, some of the things that I heard, for
Is
instance,
is Gina talking? She
yeah,
talking?
you can if you want.
Both of you are unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gina.
Okay, I was saying that, Anita, you're very good at that, the seller with all the objections that you gave, because we definitely going to hit them. Why do I need a realtor? I don't want to pay all that commission. I'm trying to make the best money. I know what my house is worth, all those things. So to me, that was excellent that you did, because we definitely going to face that, in addition to what are interest rates and this, that, and the other. Nobody's trying to buy now, and the market is this. I mean, everything. I done heard some of everything. So you did excellent on that. So those are just some of the things I heard.
Outstanding. Anybody else? Go ahead, Anita.
Thank you, Gina. Also too, for us, I think, don't let, we don't want to, so we are agents. We're experts in this field, and we know what we're doing. And so we can't get caught up. We want to hear and we want to take notes of, what the seller's concerns are, but we don't want to get intimidated by what they're saying, so don't let, their words become intimidating to you, because you know more than they know. And so I think just kind of maybe taking a breath and, to yourself, and just making sure that you hear them. And as Ms. Porter was saying, reiterate what it is, validate what they're saying, reiterate what they're saying, so that they'll have the indication that you are actually listening to them and you're hearing what their needs are. Don't let all of the other words, kind of get you nervous and off, for lack of a better word, off your game, because you can do this.
Outstanding. And I'll just follow up with that. I'll say that one of the ways that we overcome their fears, uncertainties, and doubts are with features, advantages, and benefits, right? So like in that script, when Darian went back to the part that says, sounds like making the most money is most important to them. So what are their pain points? What does that seller need? Why do they need to sell the property? They need to make money. Are they trying to relocate? So you're having a conversation and you're listening to these things, and you just want to point out your value there. Just like it says, if we could help you to sell your home faster with less hassle and risk and net more money, would you consider interviewing us? Because that's that seller's pain point. They want to net the most money. And what they don't know is about 97% of sellers end up listing with an agent anyway, the for sale by owners. And what they don't know is properties sell for much more with an agent. So if they think that they're saving money by saving a 6% commission, properties are going to sell for between 10 and 50% more with the realtor. And most people don't realize that. When you see all of those videos on TV and it says, we buy homes and sell your home fast, they're making offers for 50% of the property value. And I don't know if you guys are aware of that. And they say, hey, don't pay any commission. You don't have to pay, realtors, this, that, and the third. I bet you don't. Because if my home is worth $1 million and you're saying 500,000, I'll give you 500,000 and I'll pay all your settlement expenses and you don't have to pay for moving. I just left $500,000 on the table. You're not doing me a favor. Thank you very much. So with that being said, that's a very real perspective that we need to have. Because in order for a seller to sell the property on their own, at a minimum, they're leaving at least 10% on the table. And we can do very simple math. 10% minus your 6% commission, that's a 4%, that they left 4% on the table. They could have paid you. They could have had representation. They could have had a smoother transaction. They could have had a professional making sure that they did everything compliant and all of that for them to come out with less money anyway. Right? So with that being said, those are one of the very important things to take note of. Most of them, if they're selling their property on their own, they're doing it because they think that they're saving money. So be aware that they're not saving money at all. They're just not paying a commission. All right. Does anybody else have any thoughts or takeaways about those scripts that we've gone through thus far? I see your message in the notes, Paula. You said recognizing what's important to them and their reason for selling. Absolutely. And that's the point in the conversation. You're asking questions and you're listening. And I'll piggyback on something. So when you respond, you're reiterating what you heard them say so that they know you heard them. But I love how Anita said it, and I'll add to it a little bit more. You understand what it is that they're saying, but you don't want to let them sell you on their doubt, if you will. You want to sell them. You want to sell them on the possibility of you selling their property for the most money possible with the least risk and hassle. All right. So remember, as a salesperson, somebody is being sold at all times. Are they selling you or are you selling them? All right. So I'm going to turn it back over. Does anybody have any other thoughts about that script, or would anybody else like to jump into that script before we move forward?
I'd like to try one, whether it's this one or another one, it doesn't matter.
Say that again, Gina.
I would like to try do one of the scripts, whether it's this one or another, it doesn't matter. I'd like to participate.
Great. All right. All right. Anita says she'll be the seller again. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Gina. All right. So let's go to what is the next one here. Okay. So this is an online lead that you, well, let's see, maybe we'll do it different because this is a very short one. No, we don't want to leave. So let's go back. Let's go back to the FSBO one, the for sale by owner. How about that?
Okay.
We can do that one again. And Gina, you'll be the seller.
The seller or the agent?
I'm sorry, the agent.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Start now?
Yes, you can start
okay.
now.
Hi there. This is Gina Robinson, and I'm with Porter House Realty Group, and I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the homeowner?
Is this another agent calling to try to get me to sell my house?
I am Anithia, and I'm calling because I'm wondering the same thing other agents in the area are thinking. They want to know why. Why you're
Um, so I feel good about selling my house myself, without, that way I don't have to pay any commission to anybody. You guys are greedy and you take too much money.
So I hear you, Miss Anithia. So tell me this, what's more important to you, selling your home, selling it on your own, or selling it at the highest price and making the most money?
So obviously, if I'm not paying you all a commission, that's saving me money. So I want to sell it at the highest price because I want to, obviously, I put a lot of money into this house. I've done a lot of upgrades and everything. And my basement was unfinished when I moved in this house, and I've gone in and I've put in all of this new flooring, and so I want to get as much, and I know what my house is worth, and so I want to get as much as I can get from the sale of my house.
I hear you, Miss Anita, and that sounds absolutely amazing. And I commend you for doing that great job with your upgrades. However, it sounds like to me like making the most money is what's important to you. Am I correct?
Yes, that's what I said. I want to
Okay.
make the.
So, what if we could help you and help you sell your home faster with less hassle and risk and let more money and that you can net more money? Would you consider interviewing us?
um yes, a lot of agents have been calling me, and so um I would consider it. I mean, because I don't necessarily really want to sell it myself, but I just don't want to pay the commission. So how are we going to work on that part?
So, you know what, Miss Anita, let me do this. Let's set an appointment so that we can get together and I can share with you exactly what's what. So, what's good for you? Weekdays, weekends?
Well, the weekend is better.
Okay, would that be morning, afternoon, evening?
The earlier, the better.
Okay, so would that be 10, 12?
10 o'clock is fine.
Great. How about this Saturday at 10 a.m.?
That's fine.
Okay, so
How long
now,
is this going to take?
well, I tell you what, let me give you the information. I will share with you. Give me about 30, 40 minutes at the most. I will answer whatever questions. We'll have everything available to you. So that way you won't feel like we're hiding anything because everything will be explained. So no hidden costs, no hidden anything. So let's look. I'm looking forward to meeting with you this Saturday at 10 a.m. And we're going to meet in my office. Is that okay with you?
Well, no, I'm selling my house, so I want you to come to my house.
Absolutely, no problem. So let me go ahead and do this. I put you down again for this Saturday at 10 a.m. and I will come to you and I'll bring everything to you and we'll give it a go. How does that sound to you?
Okay, that's fine. I only have about 30 minutes though.
Perfect. Give me those 30 minutes. Looking forward to seeing you again this Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm going to send you my phone number. I'm going to send you my email and that way, and I'll send you some information that you can look over or what's involved with selling, some things you can look at, some tips. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you again this Saturday at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gina. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Gina. And I was a bit difficult. And so I appreciate that. So what was your feeling as you were going through that script?
Basically what I was feeling is that you were a little apprehensive because you are looking at, I want to save money. I know what my house is worth. All these people, these other agents are calling me and I'm not trying to pay no whole bunch of money because I can do it myself, that type of thing. I just felt that you were not as well informed. And I know me and I know the company we're with, and I know that I can bring it and you're going to want to sign with us.
Okay. All right. Great. 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 Great confidence. Very good. All right. Oh, okay. Mrs. Porter has something to share as well.
Gina, that was excellent. And one of the things that I'll commend you on is that you reiterated the date and time that you were going to see them multiple times. So great job on that. One of the things that I'll add to that is whenever you're trying to make an appointment, offer them 2 different dates and times. So you make the offer. You say, hey, how's 10 a.m. on Saturday? Either 4 p.m. tomorrow or 10 a.m. on Saturday, right? You offer them something that gives them both a morning and an afternoon option. So whether it works better for them in the evening or in the morning, you give them those 2 opposed to kind of waiting for them to tell you what works best. That way you can kind of lock them in there as quickly as possible. But that was excellent. Yes. Ms. Pat, you want to say something there?
Robin first, we did do that when she began. She wasn't letting Anita finish her sentences or anything. But then as she became more comfortable, she realized that, you know, I'm the agent, I have something valuable to share here. And she became more comfortable with Anita, allowing her to speak. And then she was becoming more spontaneous too. She wasn't following the script. She knew just what to say because she's a courthouse agent. And so she was in that courthouse. I just want to encourage you.
I agree. You did great, Gina. You made it feel very natural. Kudos. All right. Does anybody else have any maybe thoughts or questions about this script or even the process of going through those scripts, guys? All right. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Anita. So then what we're going to do now is we have about 3 minutes left. I will go ahead and close us out on Realty Talks for now because we're going to transition. As promised, what we're doing this afternoon is we are gearing up for our multi-million-dollar listing cold calling session, guys. We're going to go through what that profile type is for those sellers, what to look for in terms of personality, certain things to do and say, the things that mean most to them. We're going to locate those sellers, meaning, okay, are these expires that we're calling? Are we targeting for sale by owners? And everybody's going to have their own list. We're going to look them up online so that we can find information. And then we're going to choose the best script that fits them. And then last, but certainly not least, we're going to make those calls. So we are excited about that process because everybody is not only going to get experience, but I'm confident that we're going to have wins, that people are going to get to set appointments for listings. I want to give Anita an opportunity to share just a testimonial from a call that she had yesterday with calling around or calling a lead for, you know, a multi-million-dollar listing. Anita, do you want to share that testimonial?
So, you know, it's so funny because I had a meeting with Jasmine yesterday afternoon. And you know, I was sharing with her, and I am not unlike everyone else, right? Oh, I get nervous. You know, I'm nervous now, right? Um, and but I don't know, even in that nervousness and even in that anxiety and even fear, you know, you have to just go ahead and force yourself to continue to move forward. And so, you know, Mrs. Porter and we were talking about that yesterday, and she was saying, you know, you just gotta just, you know, just do it in fear, you know, and you'll be okay. So I called a lead for a listing that the owner paid over $1 million for a while back. And surprisingly, the person answered the phone. That was the first big thing. Like, oh my goodness. So my stomach is like, oh my goodness, the person is actually on the phone, you know? And so I introduce myself, you know, and I, you know, tell them, you know, that I'm reaching out to them, you know, regarding selling their home. And so the bottom line is the conversation went very well. I was honestly kind of surprised, you know. It went very well. And one thing though that we need to make sure that we know, because Porterhouse, we know the excellence that is here in Porterhouse, right? But we are not yet, you know, the big name, you know, brokerage. But what I can say with all confidence is Porterhouse will rival any big name brokerage, right? And so one of the things that he asked me, he said, well, you know, not to be, you know, but you're not one of the big name companies. So tell me something about the company. And so I was able to, you know, share with him about how Porterhouse was started through a husband and wife team, which was the number one salesperson several years of one of those more, you know, well-known brokerages, you know, and the spirit of excellence that we have within the brokerage, and because you deserve the best, right? And so by the time we hung up, he was like, okay, you know, I like this conversation. I like what we're you know, what you've shared. And I'll go ahead and I will have a follow-up conversation with you. So I'm going to have a follow-up conversation with him. I'm telling you guys, initially, when I called and I texted Mrs. Porter, I said, "Ooh," I said, I'm experiencing some good fear here, you know." I was extremely nervous, right? And you know, because you just wonder that you can answer all of the person's questions. And it is true that, you know, the higher price listings, you know, they may have some other requirements and some other concerns. And, you know, we meet their needs, whatever those are, right? We may have to handle them in a little bit different way, just based on the, you know, the amount of that transaction. And so, but, you know, we can do that just like we can do what is considered our everyday transactions. So I just want to encourage you all.
I'll comment on what Anita said, because one of the running sayings that Anita and I both have is do it afraid, right? Because oftentimes people will think that if they see somebody succeeding in something, oh, well, this person can do it because, you know, they're used to doing it, and, you know, they don't have any fear. But me, I can't do it because I'm just so afraid to give this person a call. That's not the case. Bravery is not without the absence of fear. People that are brave, they're brave because they're doing it in the face of fear. So it doesn't matter what you face, do it afraid until you get to the point where you overcome that fear and it's no longer there. Do it afraid. If you're afraid, that shouldn't stop you from doing it. Conquer that fear. Do what you have to do. The only thing standing in the way of you in success is your thoughts. Because somebody is going to get that listing, somebody is going to make that sale, and let that somebody be you. All right. So we are excited to keep pushing forward in this endeavor, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys. If you are able to join us in the office, great. And of course, I'm going to turn it back over to you this evening. So, I'm sorry, to Anita, so you can announce what's also going on this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Porter. So we're hoping and excited about this evening. This evening is our hot chocolate social. And so preparation, you know, has been made for each of you to join us. We really want everyone who is able and, you know, to please come out and join us. And even if you can't stay the whole time, that's fine. You know, we just want to see your face this holiday season. We want to fellowship with you. We want to have a meal with you. You don't have to bring anything, although we are having a dessert contest. And you might not even want to bother with that because we already have a winner in place. So, yes, so we want you to come out. It's from 6 p.m. until 9:30. So if you're able, come and join us this evening. I think we always have a great time, when we have our hot chocolate social. Darlene is doing the most, as she always does. And so it's going to be very festive. And we just want to get together as a brokerage family and just enjoy one another's company. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to end our meeting this evening, unless there is something else that any of our Realty Pros have that they need to share.
Question. So is 6 o'clock also going to be the time we